Hi there, this is the monthly forecast for February 2019 for Libra Risings. So starting out on the 1st, there is a Mars-Pluto square happening in your 7th and 4th houses. And it may feel as if you are on this really uphill battle, that all your efforts keep you still being manipulated by this outside force. Something in your home life is making you feel like an underdog in your relationships, and that you're being manipulated or really pulled back by something happening at home that keeps you from making the progress in terms of your relationships that you want. I would hold off on reacting to this at least until the 3rd, when Venus moves into Capricorn in your 4th house, and there's increased ease in your home life that you may be able to get to the bottom of this issue without reacting from such a place of feeling victimized or feeling out of control. On the 4th, there is a new moon in Aquarius happening in your 5th house. And new moons are times of new beginnings, of setting intentions for seeds to grow in that area of our life for the next 6 months. And within your 5th house, maybe you are thinking of new developments in terms of your creativity, in terms of romance, in terms of children. It's a good time to set intentions. And with this new moon conjunct Mercury, it's a good time to think of what communication style you can begin to implement to better achieve those goals. On the 6th, Uranus moves into its final degree of Aries in your 7th house. And Uranus for the past 7 years has been really changing relationships in your life, and there's one final push for the change necessary to take place in that area of your life. So look out for one final push, one final development in that sphere. On the 10th, Mercury moves into Pisces in your 6th house. And Mercury moving into a house relating to our day-to-day routine and our health could mean that there's just more ideas and more communication about those things. On the 12th, Mars will conjunct Uranus and Aries in your 7th house of relationships. So like I was saying about one last change, with Mars and Uranus both joining in there could be a rather abrasive or sudden change that feels kind of aggressive. And this could be for bad or for good, depending on what happens and the way you look at it. With this transit, it might manifest better if you take on the agency of the transit and decide to implement that one final sudden change for your own good rather than waiting for it to happen to you. So just a heads up that there might be some energy in that area of your life coming about. On the 14th, Mars moves into Taurus in your 8th house. And where Mars goes, it brings increased energy and drive, and it can also bring increased ability for frustration or setback, particularly if you're born during the day. And with it moving into your 8th house, you could feel as if there's more for you to get done in terms of your shared finances and assets with others. And there's also the risk for you to feel like you are in some type of aggressive combat with this shared resources with others. It's just something to keep an eye on, and it's a good time to get things done in that front. On the 18th, Chiron will move into Aries in your 7th house. And where Chiron goes, he can bring a chance to open wounds that were never fully healed, understand what was happening there, learn from it, and then teach others the same lesson. And it's not a planet, it's an asteroid, but because it's so slow moving, it'll be there until 2027. This is a force to keep in mind. And it'll be in your house of relationships. And things have really changed for you about the way that you are thinking of how you relate to others and the way that you are pursuing intimate bonds with them. And maybe now you are really understanding the depth of where you might have been hurt or misunderstood, and you are closing those lessons up to then teach them to others in the future as this transit progresses. On the 18th, the sun will move into Pisces in your 6th house, and where the sun goes, it can illuminate that area of life during that season. So during Pisces season, you may have more attention on your personal routines, your work life, and the way you take care of yourself day to day. On the 19th, there is a Virgo full moon in your 12th house, and full moons are times of culmination and of coming to fruition of that area of life that has been building for the past 6 months. And it's in your 12th house, which is more behind the scenes, it's more internal, and it's more isolated. So maybe you were, for the past 6 months, dealing with something privately, psychologically, or growing psychologically privately, and then this time, the fruits of that labor really come to fruition. This full moon, the dispositor Mercury is conjunct Neptune square Jupiter, so there might be the possibility of delusion or of self-deception. But if we stay grounded and aware of what's going on, this is a time for celebrating whatever's coming to completion in terms of your 12th house here. So this month is really asking you to finalize some changes you made in terms of your relationships and to think about your shared assets with others as well. So I hope this was helpful. I do private consultations at the link below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you soon.